Welcome to a brand new episode of TVGP's Game Club. This time we're playing 2 a T. I'm your host, Boston. I'm playing this on the PlayStation 5, joined as always by Moonpeer
Hello, Xbox Series X.
and Musum.
Hey, Xbox Series X.
Let's get all the deets about this game out of the way here at the beginning. Was released May 28th, 2025. Developed by Uvula, published by Annapurna Interactive. Was released on PS5, Series consoles, and PC. How do we describe this game? You are a 13-year-old who is stuck in T-pose and trying to live a normal life in their normal town. And it's a third-person life exploration walking sim thing. Episodic. It's got
Story thing.
story wandering around dress up
There's a
thing.
giraffe.
Yeah, it's got a lot, man. Time travel here. Metacritic 73, OpenCritic 70. Appears for the release date. You listen to last month's episode, it's gonna sound pretty similar because they both came out at the same time. Despelote, Revenge of the Savage Planet, Doom the Dark Ages, Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time, Monster Train 2, Pipistrello, and the Curse Yo-Yo, Fuga Memories, Melodies of Steel 3, Elden Ring Night Rain, Shovel Knight Dig, and I can't read at all this month. We're going to ask the question we ask every month. Was this game top of the pile, middle of the pack, or overlooked?
I mean, for me, overlooked. Despelote and Doom the Dark Ages kind of stole all of the talking points that week, it felt like.
Sure.
Um,
Go ahead.
Probably about the same, but I don't know. You guys always pick up really interesting games.
Yeah. For
So
me, it was middle of the pack and almost top of the pile for when it got released because, number one, it's a new Keita Takahashi game. He's the main designer behind stuff like Nobi Nobi Boy, the first, I think, 2 Katamari games. There's that other game he made that I never remember the name of. And it's sort of funny because when they announced this game, it was basically like, yeah, it's a teenager stuck in T-pose trying to live their life. And one interviewer was basically like, hey man, why do you always make the weirdest games? And apparently he got really sad and said, I tried to make a normal one this time, guys. It's just like,
oh,
but also, no, you didn't. Like, I love you,
No,
I
no,
love you,
you did
Keita,
not.
but come on, man. Let's not lie about it. We are going to be entering the spoiler zone here in just a second, so I want to mention that our next game is the also totally very normal Tactical Breach Wizards. I cannot say. I have a month to practice how to say breach. I'm okay saying Into the Breach, but apparently not Tactical Breach Wizards. So we're going to play that for the next month here. That was released on the PC, and I don't think anywhere else. So if that was released anywhere else, you can insert your own platforms there. Okay, spoiler zone time. We're going to talk about all 8 episodes of 2 a T. I want to say something here real quick because I can distill my thoughts on 2 a T very succinctly. I really liked the first 4 episodes. I really hated the
Uh-huh.
last 4 episodes.
Uh-huh. I can get behind this.
What a wild swing in nearly everything that this game did right and throwing all of that out of the window almost immediately. So much of what I like about this game is I like this kind of like faux TV show episodic nature of it, of like you have the Perfect Shape intro song, you have Giraffe's outro song, which by the way is a bop, and also Rebecca Sugar sang it, which is really great. She should be doing more stuff. And I liked this kind of like slice of life Like, you go to school and today is your PE day, and today was science class, and there's also weird stuff like you can spin really fast and fly. And then you race a train, and like it's this kind of normal day stuff. And it seemed to me like the majority of the game is going to be balancing this like repetition of waking up, cleaning the eye boogers out of your eyes, eating breakfast, brushing your teeth, going to school, and kind of like making sure the game impresses upon you that like, sure, I made my character female. She's stuck in T-pose, but she's just a normal teenager. Like, she doesn't want to go to school. She's getting bullied by the three bullies, one of whom knows dark magic. And then like obviously they kind of come to terms because everybody, our differences are our strengths. But then
Yeah.
chapter 5 happens where you start an investigation as the dog, and everything just completely falls apart, I think.
Yep.
I think this game continually struggled with its frame rate throughout all of it, and that's something that I can kind of ignore and get over. But the camera issues that were there in when you're playing as teen were way worse when you're playing as the dog, because the camera zooms so close onto dog that it's like nearly impossible to see where you're going or see the little digging guy with the cool hat and the sunglasses. It kind of turned a game that I thought was fun with some quirks into just a real chore of a thing to play, which was a real bummer. Is that where you started struggling, Moon?
The camera was always a nightmare, to be completely honest.
Mm-hmm.
It's the lack of rotational ability, the nature of the whole thing to just get glitched into and then unable to see through objects in the foreground,
Yes.
which is just like, sure, why
And
not? I guess there's a
for anyone that
paper
hasn't played
stand
it,
that I can't see through.
there's no camera control either. So like the camera is
Oh,
fixed.
it's fixed. You can do like a little wibble side to side, but that's
Yeah.
pretty much about it.
You can't spin the camera around, and a lot of times like you have a map which is sort of okay, but a lot of times it's this thing of like, I just need to see what is behind the camera right now, because I think that's who I need to talk to. But instead, I have to like wander around until I can get the camera into the right position, and it's just like, okay. And I love the soundtrack to this game. Please don't misconstrue what I'm about to say. This game really needed the song, the like main piano song, to play maybe twice and then fade out. Like hearing it, like I'm stuck in this area and I'm playing this area for like 30 minutes and the same piano track is looping, felt like I was going to lose my mind, which was really frustrating.
I mean, part of my biggest issue with it, like the biggest complaint I had for the game was finding the Mr. Mole.
Yes, that was the
Because
worst
everyone
part.
is human sized.
Yep.
Like you talk to Mr. Pigeon, he's human sized. You talk to Mr. Pig, he's human sized. You talk to
Yep.
Mr. Frog, he's human sized.
Right.
And then it's like, go find Mr. Mole, and Mr. Mole is mole sized.
I struggled with this forever on stream, and the only reason why I found him is I saw that in this like field of it's corn or something, there was like a little yellow dot in the background. I was like, I don't see anything else around here. Let's go investigate it. And it was the tiny, cool looking mole. And I was like,
Yep, with his construction hat.
yeah. And I don't want to say that soured me for the rest of the game, but I think that's where the game sort of started to struggle with its own. I don't mind if a game is going to be like weird and quirky, but when you run into stuff like that in the gameplay portions, like almost immediately following that, you start a race to join the like secret ninja club, and the third race against the snail goes through a side path that you can't go through, and they don't tell you where the goal is. So I'm like looking for the goal, and you're like, "That sucks, you lost." And I was like, "From what? What are you talking? What are you even talking about? I don't even know where I'm going. Like, I can't even go." And like that kind of 1-2 punch there was sort of like, "All right, man. Like, come on. What are we doing?" Like, I appreciate that this game is weird, and I liked a lot of the strangeness of the story, but extending that into the gameplay stuff felt really annoying. There was another part later on where you're on the cube world. What are we calling them? The like Xbox Series X planet. Like I don't the planet of the rectangles.
Couldn't have just called it the refrigerator planet like everybody else calls
Bob's
like
home
the main
world.
guy?
Um,
Yeah. You
but
had to go with the Series X. I see
yeah,
how it is,
that's right.
Boston. Next time I
Born
see a
hater till
piece
I
of
die.
modern art, I'm going to call it the PlayStation 5 modern art.
That's right, exactly. Um, but the like you having to wander through this alien town up and down and around all of um these stairways, and it's sort of like, nope, it's right over there, just keep on going. It's like, why are we doing like literally any of this? And then basically after that the game is just like a text dump for the next hour to an hour and a half. It's like, what are we doing here, man? Like, it's I don't I don't think it's inherently a bad game, but I think so much of that stuff was really irking me in the back half of that game.
Well, like the opening part of this game is all about like embracing your differences and
Right.
dealing with the issues that you are having by being different, which is the stuff that we talked about it pre-recording. Musum got what did you say about halfway through?
I that's being generous. I got through like episode 3 or something like that.
Okay.
Right where the bullies forgave the character.
Yeah,
Right.
so like
And so I've
got through the
seen
part.
none of what you're talking about, unfortunately.
Yeah, so you got through like the cute and cool part where it's like, yes, you are different. Yes, you are struggling. Yes, you are differently abled to everybody else, but hey, you are dealing with it, and that's cool.
Right.
Like you have a special long spoon and a special long toothbrush and a special dog that helps you pee. Like you have all of these special things which are adaptive. Like it's cool.
And you
And
are the
then it's like,
perfect
oh hey,
shape
by the way,
is like
yes,
the thing here of like, yeah, no matter what you look like, you're the perfect shape. You're good. And then
yeah, and it's just like yo aliens.
yeah, and like I think the story gets to a point that I really like at the very end, because Bob's whole thing is, well, you guys aren't the perfect shape. You're not the perfect organism. Everybody looks different. Everybody is different, and you guys keep bullying each other over it. So I'm going to correct everything, and everything's going to be a rectangle, because that's the perfect shape, and everybody looks the same, and everything will be fine. And I like the kind of like slow unfolding of Bob sort of being like, he starts to realize that like the train doors aren't super efficient, but they're kind of fun.
Mhm.
And the ocean is really cool, and human food, that's pretty cool too. Am I right? Like, look at this building. It's a shoe. Look at that building. It's a sandwich. That's bananas. What are we doing here? That's pretty cool. Um, but the extended lead up to getting to that point of like, obviously Bob is Teen's dad. And like obviously all of
Wait,
this.
Bob isn't teens dad.
Sorry,
The fake
the
T is
yeah, the fake T, the wide. the wide rectangle.
The former champion of
Yes.
the shot put contest on another planet, I'm not even going to go into that whole section.
Yeah, this like hammer throw shot put champion who like destroys a city block because he's so strong, but he's actually a T and not the perfect shape. That scene was unbearably long. um, like, obviously that's Teen's dad, and that's why Teen is a T shape and can do that spinning flying thing, which is how Teen saves the bullies and they become friends. But like, it takes so long to get there, and I really wish that it's funny because I feel like if this game had been released episodically, like if one episode of this game had come out every week, I actually think I would have really liked it. I played it largely one episode a day, which I did like the format a lot. I liked the You're the Perfect Shape song playing at the beginning every time and getting flipped on its head at the beginning of episode 8 where everybody's a rectangle. I liked that a lot. Again, Giraffe Song is a bop. I liked that being the like outro song. And I liked being able to say, okay, I finished episode 1, I'm done for today. I can take a break. Okay, I finished episode 2, done for today. I can take a break. I liked having that kind of pattern to it. But with the first couple episodes being so short, and that's complimentary, and then the last 4 episodes being really long and feeling very imbalanced from a length perspective, I think kind of hurt it for me, unfortunately.
Yeah,
and
I'll be honest, I was not a huge fan of the Yo Aliens.
Yeah, it's really I like okay, let's talk about the Katamari games for a second. Katamari games are really weird. Like,
yeah, but they start with Yo Aliens.
They start with Yo Aliens, but they also, like, the core of the game is very much like you don't have to impress your parents. You can still be a good person even if they don't agree with the choices that you make in your life. And that's a pretty universal sort of message that you can lay out, especially in a game. And like, look, the actual story of the first Katamari games is really weird with like that family that's trying to run away from the aliens, but that story kind of doesn't matter. So for this game to sort of be like, yeah, she's stuck in T-pose, but like, who cares? Like, high school is hard for everybody. And then for it to be like, so there's an alien and there's an alien planet and they really love this champion and he's your dad. And it's like, yeah, uh-huh. Okay. Like, the game was flirting with it a little bit of like, why don't you shoot your TV and have it spin around for 30 minutes before it plops down and starts getting reception? It's like, all right, that's pretty weird. You have a talking unicycle, which I really like the talking unicycle because there's a moment where one of the bullies, I think it's the skinnier boy, he asks her, like, why does your unicycle talk? And Teen is basically like, why don't your bikes talk? And he was basically like, hey man, no bikes talk. It's just like, all right.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you're not wrong, but that's a pretty good line. So like, it's a weird game, but it didn't feel Aliens weird. It was just sort of like, all right, Teen's mom is an inventor. Like, she made the long spoon. She made the cool, like, twist and push faucet. And she made all these things that help Teen and Dog out with their life. But then it really, like, took a turn. And
yes,
I'm now realizing 20 minutes into this episode, we haven't really talked about the gameplay because there isn't really a whole lot of it. You're kind of walking around, you spin every once in a while, and you do some kind of QTEs every once in a while. And Giraffe will have you do a mini game every so often if you choose to do so. One of the giraffes, I'm sorry.
I gotta
Um,
really say, I really
Yes.
expected where I was at in the game for teen to learn to fly,
mhm.
and then it turned into kind of a wander around and collect things type deal,
So
or something like that.
one
But
of
I guess
my
that's not the case.
one of my frustrations about this game is I would be really curious to hear what happened with the development of this game, because when you start episode 5, I think it is, or maybe episode 6, you get introduced to the crab that runs the barber shop, and he
Hmm.
wants you to go talk to everybody around town that has a cool hairstyle and see if he can borrow the hairstyles from everybody. There's a really good one where someone on a bunch of lily pads is wearing basically a famous mouse ear hairstyle, and the girl is like, "Oh, I'm just paying homage to a character I really like," and Teen goes, "Ah, of course, say no more, otherwise we'd get in very large trouble." Like, there's a really good kind of wink and nod there. Um, but like, there's that, and there's a couple of giraffes, and there's a bunch of like coins to pick up, and there's like a couple of extra shops around town. But I thought that Musum, felt the same as you did, where I thought at some point it was gonna be like, okay, cool, I'm gonna be able to do a bunch of stuff around the town, because there's a fairly large map, and it seems like there's a kind of a lot of stuff in town, but I don't, either I didn't find it, or there wasn't really that much on a larger scale to do around town, other than the barber shop and maybe like one other thing, which I thought was kind of surprising.
Hmm.
So like, that's kind
Super
of
Yeah.
weird. Yeah.
it's it
It feels like it got like chopped in half in the middle of development. Like it was
yeah.
like, oh, we've got plans for. It feels like there's a middle chapter missing
Hmm.
because it's like, uh-oh, we ran out of budget. Like, let's
Yeah.
just cut reel 2 from the game and smush reel 3 into reel 1,
It
and
feels like
then
those open world games you played on the 360, where like they have another map and that map is completely empty. And it's like, "Oh yeah,
Hmm.
don't like we ran out of budget. Don't worry about it though. Like, this is just the path to the final boss." It's like, "No, this is a big map you guys made. Did you There's no activities here?" And like, the town kind of feels that way, of like, this is a pretty big town and there's a ton of stuff in the town, but it's all interesting kind of set dressing of like, you can talk to everybody in the town, and I think that's very worthwhile, but there doesn't seem to be much to do there otherwise, which is kind of a bummer. um,
That's God, that. So I one thing that struck me in the beginning. Um, crap. Okay, well, I'll tell you the bad news after the podcast. Um, the I thought the animation was really good.
yes. Hmm.
yeah,
Um, like I
and
really
I like
enjoyed moving around the
the pic.
house. So it's surprising to hear like the both of your final takes on the game was like, yeah, this is something went wrong
Uneven.
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Moon, you were gonna say something about the art style?
Yeah, like the slight pixelated nature of like the camera.
Yeah.
Like it has that Saturday morning cartoon like camera like art style kind of
Yeah.
thing. Also the fact that the dog's butt is constantly visible at all times
It's
is just
really great.
hilarious.
It's just an X. Like, yeah, I that's a really good point. I think the style of the game is really strong. I think graphically it looks really good. Like, to me, it seems like it kind of continues this very bright, stylish sort of thing that you could see from the first two Katamari games. Of like, this is a colorful game. This is a bright, I want to say cartoonish game, but without that being, you always hear people be like, "Oh, it's a cartoony game," sort of, derisively. But like, this game looks cool and it has a cool style, and I agree with you, and I like that kind of like, it's not really a filter, but like it has that kind of style to it that I think works really well for it. But yeah, it's just something happened, I think, in development. If this is the game that the team at Uvula wanted to make, then that's great. Like I will never be mad at a development team coming out and being like, this was exactly the game we wanted to make. But something about it feels like it's missing something in there somewhere. And like what I wrote in my notes is the game throughout has a lot of heart. Like it really is a very like genuine, heartfelt story that they're telling. It's just that all the annoyances in the second half just really added up for me to be like, oh, come on, man. Like, just kind of like having to roll my eyes at having to play more of the game, and then in a weird way, rolling my eyes at not being able to play the game as some of the like tech dump stuff happened.
Yeah.
Just weird.
I will say my dog really enjoyed the dog on the screen.
Okay. It's like,
One of my kittens did too. One of
yeah.
my kittens was like parked next to me, just like staring at the dog, especially in the dog chapter.
That's great. I did like dog walking on two legs and knowing how to talk for a very short time. That was pretty great. Of like,
Really liking cappuccino
yes, really like
or espresso.
cappuccino. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, Moon. What are your final thoughts here for To a T as we wrap this thing up?
It's disappointing for me on a personal level because one of the things I've always loved about all of the other games by the creator is the story has been kind of whatever, but the gameplay has been phenomenally fun and really addictive to play.
Right.
And I don't know if it's specifically designed to be slightly annoying to play because of the nature of having to maneuver with the T shape and deal with the different abilities that the teen has. And if it is, it's a good thing because it is kind of a little bit more annoying to play it that way. But also, it's the reason I don't want to come back to the game. Like, I went and did the full 1,000 gamer score on Katamari rerolled for a reason. Because that game is a banger of a game to play.
Game. Yeah.
Well, like, say what you want about the story, the people, the writing, the characters, whatever, but playing it is just so fun. And that's the thing that this game really annoyed me with, where it's just like, it's a solid little game, but it's just not fun to play.
Right.
Like, the jumping mechanic, the flying mechanic is hard to control and see what's going on. I do love the fact that he gets a little light up ballerina skirt around him when he's doing the big fly jumps. Like,
yes.
I think that's a really cute little touch.
Yep.
But it's so hard to control when it's doing that. It's like the menu responsiveness is a little delayed. So like, I'll go into a store and buy a pair of shoes, but I didn't buy the shoes because I didn't press left late enough. I pressed it too quick and it didn't take the input because the menu hadn't loaded for it yet. And I'm not talking about like seconds loading, I'm talking about like milliseconds. But it's like, I'm hitting left to hit yes because I know that's what I need to do, and I didn't do it late enough, so it didn't happen, and then I've got to do the whole thing. It's minor annoyances just add up to be a slightly frustrating experience playing the game.
Right. Some final thoughts for you?
I don't know that I have much of any, honestly. Just I played 3 or 4 episodes. I think it was 3 episodes in, and you know, it seemed cute. I evidently missed all the bad parts.
Yeah, you kind of lucked out, I think.
I feel like I've done that before on this podcast, so I'm sorry, guys. It's I don't know. It's fine. I probably won't play it again, honestly. After hearing you guys talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did look up what the other Kita Takahashi game is. That's Wattam, Wattam, as their other his other game. Yeah, I don't have too much more to to add on top of that. I agree wholeheartedly that it's a fine game. I just kind of wish it was more fun to play, and I think I would feel much stronger about it because I really did like the story, and I really did like, I thought the bullies were going to be the problem the entirety of the game, and you save the dark magic girl and suddenly they're your friends, which is great. Like, and I like where the game eventually ended up. Once you find that Bob isn't perfect, is one of his corners is slightly rounded, and he got bullied for it when he was young. Like, I think where the game turns out is a great thing of like humanity's differences are what bring us together, and that's a thing to celebrate for what makes humanity good. But the road to get there is a little too long, a little too annoying, I think.
Yeah.
All right, that's this game club. Thank you for listening. Next game is Tactical Breach Wizards. Came out on the PC. We'll be playing that for next month. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you next month. Bye.
Bye.